the story. The premise being like, don't worry about like, how are we going to change? Like find something that does not change and bet on that. And I've also thought, I've been a financial writer for 17 years, and it's always bothered me how bad the whole industry is at predicting the next bear market, the next recession, the next pandemic, the next technology. Nobody's any good at it. That's like a little bit too harsh, but that's directionally true. Nobody's any good at it. And so there's two things you could do with that. One, you could become more of a cynic and just say nobody knows anything, don't even try. Or kind of the Buffett approach of like find something that is never going to change and put your weight on that. And so that was one observation. The other was, as a student of history, realizing when you're reading about the economy from 100 years ago or 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago, there's some things that you read about and you're like, oh, things were very different back then. But there are even more things that you can read that make you stop and think that's exactly how it is today. The way that people responded to greed and fear and risk and uncertainty is the exact same today as it was 100 years ago. And so putting those two things together, if you can find things of human behavior that are never going to change, then you know something that is going to be part of your future. So stop pretending that you know when the next recession is going to happen, but study how people respond to recessions when they do happen, because that's never changed. So it's going to be part of our future. And so that's kind of the premise of the book. It's just a bunch of little stories of things that facets of human behavior that have always been with us and I think always will be. And you like, regardless of what is going to happen in our future, you know that these little bits of behavior are going to be a part of it.
And so what's something where when you studied how people, let's say, respond to greed or fear or change or whatever, and you looked at these patterns of human behavior, what's something that you like the best research or books or insights that I get, I'm like, oh, I feel like I have a superpower. Like, like almost like I could read people's minds now. Right. So it sounds like by studying what doesn't change or how human behavior works, did you come out with anything that you're like, did you change anything that you do, or did you have a new strategy or a new plan or any new, like, could you action that? Cause I guess my skeptical view would be, I feel like I could understand how people behaved in the past, but attaching that to what the hell am I supposed to do today is not so easy of a leap. What's one that you made yourself doing this?
I know this is an answer that people will find inadequate, but to me, it's incredibly powerful and important. And I think the main plea in the book is for humility. It's not even about the examples of things that are never going to change. That's obviously the core of the book. But the reason we're doing that is because we have humility and not fooling ourselves to thinking that we know what's going to change. What are the three biggest economic stories of our adult lives? By far, by an order of magnitude, it's September 11th, Lehman Brothers collapsing, and COVID. But like, by an order of magnitude, nothing else matters.